In the Ladomas family mansion, two kids are seen running around the house, looking for where to hide. The eldest among the two brothers, Daniel, finally finds a safe spot, but it can only contain one person. So, he tells his little brother, Alex, to get in and don't come out. Afterwards, a man with an arrow piercing through his lower body finds Daniel and begs him for help. But instead, Daniel screams that he's here, and all the Ladomas family gathers around, wearing masks. The man is shot multiple times with a crossbow and carried to another room while he cries for help. 30 years later, Grace is about to be married into the Ladomas family. She brings out a cigarette to smoke while she talks to herself about how awful the Ladomas family treats her. But in sincerity, she can't wait to be part of the family, not because they're filthy rich, but because she's so in love with Alex. Meanwhile, Alex has been standing right behind her, listening to what she's been saying. As the couple looks out through the window to their wedding ceremonial ground, Grace thinks Alex's father hates her because he feels she's a gold digger. Alex tells her not to care what they think, as his family consists of horrible people. Daniel, Alex's older brother, walks in to escort both of them outside for the wedding and tells Grace it's not too late to flee. Grace doesn't know what that means and takes it as a joke. After the wedding, Alex and Grace are about to make out in his old room when they're interrupted by Helen, who's been staring at them. This is Alex's aunt. Helen tells Alex she's here to remind him to come to the diner, as the family is waiting for them. Curious, Grace asks what she means by that, and Alex is forced to explain that at midnight, she has to play a family traditional checkers game, where she draws a card, and whatever the outcome is, that is the game they'd have to play. Grace thinks it's weird and asks why they play such games and if she has to win. Alex tells her it's not necessary for her to win and that the family made their fortune through games, so playing checkers is part of their initiation process to welcome a new member to their family. Grace doesn't think much about it. As long as it gets the Ladomas family to accept her, she's ready to play whatever game they present to her. So, she tells Alex to go and buy her 10 minutes to prepare for the game. While the butler plays a fine melody to set the environment for the ceremony to begin, Grace is welcomed by Alex's mom, Becky. They make small talk about how Grace grew up in different foster homes and how she has always dreamed of having a real, permanent family. Becky is genuinely delighted that she's about to become one of them, since Alex has been running away from the family. But because of their wedding, she has brought him back to the family. Grace doesn't seem to understand what that means but plays along anyway. Alex shows up to take her away, and looking at his face, Grace could tell that something isn't right. She asks what it is, but Alex insists that he's fine. Seconds later, the remaining two members of the family, Fitch and Charity, finally arrive with their kids to participate in the game. As the family settles around a round table, Tony, the head of the family and father to Daniel and Alex, starts by sharing a story about their family history. Their great-grandfather set up a printing shop during the Civil War to manufacture playing cards. A generation later, his grandfather expanded it into sporting and board games, and under Tony, the Ladomas family has acquired 4 professional sports teams and made a greater fortune from it. They don't attribute this progress to luck, rather, he believes that someone has been watching over them. Further into the family story, their great-grandfather was a merchant seaman. During one of his voyages, he met a Mr. LaBelle on a ship while purchasing exotic antiquities to resell to wealthy Americans. On board, their great-grandfather and Mr. LaBelle found a mutual passion for games of chance. Being so wealthy, Mr. LaBelle gave their great-grandfather a box, which they now possess. But before giving him the box, he told him that if he solved the mystery of the object, he would finance whatever project he chose. He spent many hours until he finally solved it. Ever since, anyone who wants to join the Ladomas family is given the box with a blank card inserted inside, and whatever symbol the player pulls, the spirit of Mr. LaBelle decides the outcome of it. The box is then passed round the family members and finally to Grace. Excited and full of joy to finally be part of the family, Grace pulls out a card from the box and shows it to everyone. It says, "Hide and seek." Alex's eyes turn red immediately, Daniel's face shrinks, and the room grows deathly quiet. Since it's her initiation into the family, Grace gets to hide, while the entire Ladomas family gets to look for her. Still oblivious to the impending situation, Grace raises a toast to Mr. LaBelle, which everyone reluctantly cheers to. Mr. Tony then explains the rules of the game to her. She can hide anywhere in the house, and they will count to 100 before they start looking for her. Grace thinks they have the advantage because it's their house and they have CCTV cameras all over the place, but Mr. Tony assures her that they never use the cameras when playing. All she has to do is stay hidden until dawn, but they don't expect her to win. After several minutes of looking around the house, Grace finally finds a safe spot to hide, while the family gathers their hunting tools to go look for her. Tired of waiting in the small compartment, Grace decides to come out and look around the house. Alex grabs her from behind and pulls her into a room. At that moment, one of the housemaids enters the same room, looking for one of the kids who left her watch while she was sleeping. Tired of looking for the kid she came for, she's about to leave when Charity shoots her, thinking it's Grace. After realizing she's the wrong person, the family decides to take the body and spread out to look for Grace. Grace, who's just witnessed what happened, starts to cry, demanding answers from Alex. Alex explains that she pulled the one deadly card. He wanted to tell her about the family's secret but was scared she'd leave him. Now, if they don't kill her before dawn, something bad will happen to them both in the family. But he doesn't care and wants to help her escape the building. Since the house is on lockdown, he has to get to the control room to unlock the doors and tells Grace to use the kitchen exit. On her way there, she stumbles upon the family. Charity immediately shoots at her but misses every shot, giving Grace the chance to run for her life. Daniel eventually finds her hiding in one of the rooms. Although Daniel doesn't want to be part of the ritual, he still tells Grace he's going to count down to 10, and she should run and hide before he tells the family. As soon as she does, Daniel screams that she's here, prompting the remaining family to scurry into the room. Disappointed that they didn't find her, the family thinks about re-strategizing. Charity, who's been clumsy ever since, tells everyone she's forgotten where she left her gun. Fitch then offers his crossbow for her to use. At that moment, one of the maids walks in to inform everyone that she's found where Grace is hiding. Charity mistakenly shoots the crossbow, killing the maid. Instead of trying to help the maid who just collapsed, they start consoling Charity for her mistake. Alex's wife asks if the kill still counts, but Helen insists that the bride who pulled the card must be found and killed.
We must kill the bride by dawn.
Tired of running around looking for the bride when there's a camera, they decide to use it since they're running out of time. Everyone fans out to look for Grace. Grace eventually gets to the kitchen and waits for Alex to open the exit door. Tired of waiting, she tries shooting at the door, only to discover that the gun isn't loaded. At that moment, the butler walks in, and Grace quickly hides to avoid being found. While hiding, she uses the opportunity to load the gun, and at the same time, Alex successfully unlocks the exit doors. Distracted by the event, the butler tries to check it out, only for Grace to point the gun at him, asking him to move away. The man doesn't budge, and as she tries shooting the gun, nothing happens. The butler tells her that the ammunition was for display only and takes the gun from her. Grace then grabs a mug and smashes it on the butler's face. He screams in pain and grabs a knife, swinging it at her, so she runs out through another exit. Tony and Daniel eventually get to the control room. Before they can break in, Alex grabs a fire extinguisher and uses it to destroy the control system. Grace tries using the compartment from earlier to hide but finds the last remaining housemaid hiding there. Grace tells her to come out, since they're not looking for her, so she can hide there. Instead, the maid screams that she's here and mistakenly presses the elevating button, which causes the compartment door to close with her head still sticking out. The maid ends up getting crushed. Alex is tied up, and since the security system can't be repaired for now, the exits of the building remain unlocked. The butler reports the death of the last maid. Grace finally makes it out of the building into the family's barn. Thinking she's being followed by someone, she quickly hides, realizing it's Georgie. She thanks God, only to get shot in the hand by the little boy. She smacks him in return, and he passes out. She takes the torchlight and gets startled by a goat, causing her to fall backward into a cabin in the barn. Looking at her surroundings, she starts puking over the stench of the dead bodies around her. She tries using the old ladder to climb up while using one hand. She makes it to the top, but the ladder falls off since it's weak. She's about to fall backward when she uses her other hand to hold onto the ledge, impaling it on a nail to drag herself out. She starts running again and is found by Daniel's wife.
I got you, bitch.
Finally, Grace finds the gate of the compound with a small opening. She forces her body through it, screaming in pain as the metal tears through her skin. She finds a vehicle and begs the driver to help, but he sees her as a mad person and zooms off. After screaming in frustration, Grace sees the butler approaching her with a car, so she runs to hide. Back with the family, Daniel and Charity are tasked with dumping the bodies of the maids into the cabin, during which they find Georgie. Grace is still running, and the butler uses the car to chase after her. She trips and falls to the ground, so he gets out to subdue her. He's about to shoot her when Grace pushes the gun away and pulls his ear. This allows Grace to use a rope from her wedding dress to tie around the butler's neck and strangle him to death. She takes the car and starts to drive, only for it to suddenly stop. Since it's an electric car, the AI assistant announces that the owner has reported it stolen, so the car is on lockdown. The butler soon arrives, smashes the car window, and shoots Grace with a tranquilizer. The butler calls the family on video to report that he's captured Grace and plays a loud opera song to celebrate, not realizing what's about to happen. The family tries to warn him, but it's too late. Grace kicks him in the head until he loses control of the car, and they crash. Grace makes it out. Daniel appears from behind and reveals that he genuinely doesn't want to kill her, but he must follow the family's tradition. Grace tries to talk him out of it when Daniel hits her with the gun, and she passes out. Grace is tied to a table while the family members gather around to perform the ritual. As they all drink to commence the killing of Grace, Tony starts to puke blood, joined by the others. Realizing it was Daniel who poisoned the drink, he reveals it's just a sedative, and they'll return to normal after a while. He proceeds to untie her. At the same time, Alex breaks free from his bonds and runs out to see what's happening. Eventually, Daniel's wife finds Grace where they're hiding and wants to shoot her on the spot, but Daniel steps in between them, begging his wife not to do anything rash. She shoots him. Grace grabs the gun from her and smacks her with it. Daniel is losing so much blood and is about to die. Grace thanks him before leaving. Tony finds her and is about to perform the ritual right there, only for her to grab an object from the table and hit him with it. Alex finds his brother, who eventually dies in his arms. Alex's mom finds Grace running away and shoots her with a crossbow but misses, confessing it's been a while. She proceeds to attack her, choking Grace, who grabs the card box and smacks her head with it repeatedly until she's dead. Alex walks in to find Grace in the act, and she apologizes. Alex apologizes too, but after learning she'd leave him after all this, he pretends he wants to hug her and grabs her, telling the others she's here. With this, she's held to a table once more, and Alex is given the knife to finish things. Grace shifts her body, and Alex ends up stabbing her instead. Seeing the sun is out, the family becomes scared and cowers in fear, realizing their belief was just a myth, and nothing was going to happen. Helen still doesn't want to give up and grabs her axe to end Grace, only to explode in front of everyone.
What the fuck?
Suddenly, the music starts to play, and one by one, the family members begin to explode. Tony grabs the box and yells that he did everything right and was in control of the situation, only for him to explode. Realizing he's next, Alex starts begging Grace to forgive him, confessing he's scared to die. Grace pulls out her ring, saying she wants a divorce, and Alex explodes. Minutes later, she walks out from the building as everything inside starts burning behind her.